In 2017, during a UN General Assembly meeting, the Central African Republic reached out to a random, well, what appears to be a random country for help. Now, here's a real quick background. France has been helping the country since they decided to decolonize because France used to have a slave trading network in the Central African Republic. Okay, France now is paying its dues. Well, I mean, as much as you can. I mean, it was a slave trade network. Like, how much are you really helping? Anyway, France has been helping. Now, you would expect the Central African Republic to then lean more on France in order for help. But that was not the case. France was not asked to help. The country that was asked to help is Russia. Now, you might think, well, who gives a shit? What difference does this make? Well, the United States is the largest donor to the Central African Republic government. The United States is trying to have more influence into this country. Russia now has their hands in the Central African Republic as well. So you have the US on one side and you have Russia on the other side. Essentially, the meeting went like this. Hey, Russia, guess what? We're kind of screwed right now. We need some help. Russia said, okay, yep, sounds good. It seems like it's coming out of left field as an American, like, what, Russia, middle of Africa, what? Well, yeah, okay. But here's the situation. That story was correct. But the question now that we have to ask ourselves is this going to be problematic with the United States on one side and Russia on the other? Because we do have a lot of situations where they were on opposite sides, obviously, like Vietnam, like Korea, like Afghanistan, like Syria. This is a fragile situation. And so in order to understand how this is going to affect us, we have to understand what Russia's role is. And that is what I'm going to talk about today. Also why we should be scared, or not. Here we go. In 2013, the United Nations banned the sale and transfer of weapons into the Central African Republic because of a coup in 2012 to 2013. This is very relevant. Nobody was supposed to be selling the Central African Republic weapons. According to the United Nations, would you like to take a guess as to what Russia's role is? They decided to sell the Central African Republic weapons. However, here's where it gets a little more interesting. Russia actually received approval by the United Nations to supply the Central African Army with weapons. Yeah, I don't know about this, guys. It seems kind of slimy. It originally sounded like Russia is trying to be nice and charitable and generous, but I feel like there's an alternative meaning here. Well, guess what? I actually do have the answer for this. Russia actually wanted something out of the Central African Republic, and in return, they're offering to give weapons and actually train troops as well. Fun fact. Okay, there's actually a contractual agreement between Russia and the Central African Republic, which would allow Russia to begin, quote-unquote, mining exploration. The question now is, what would Russia really want to mine? Well, maybe resources, considering the fact that the Central African Republic has the largest stockpile in the world of diamonds, gold, and uranium. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think this is a charitable relationship? Or do you think this is more of an exploitive relationship? Or more of a symbiotic or mutually beneficial relationship? Fortunately for us, Russia just went ahead and said it. This is mutually beneficial relationship, a symbiotic relationship. They're not doing this to be nice. They're doing this because they're getting resources as a result of this. Oh, I should also mention the fact that Valery Zakharov, a former Russian intelligence official, actually stepped in as an advisor to the Central African Republic's president. My primary question here is, who's actually going to be benefiting from any of this? Considering the fact that the majority of the country is not living under the government, I have a feeling that the majority of the people in Central African Republic is not going to be benefiting from any of this, which kind of sucks. Granted, you could also make the argument that by having a stronger government, then yes, in fact, that they'll be benefiting because the government could possibly expand. But that's definitely hypothetical because right now it seems like the rebel groups, all 14 of them, has a pretty strong stronghold on the other 75 to 80% of the country. Now, here's what I do not want to happen. This war in the country creates beds of extremism that Russia and the United States government will decide to take different sides on. Again, like Syria and Vietnam and Korea and Afghanistan. You kind of get where I'm going with this and how this could potentially be problematic in the future? Okay, well, guess what? We're good here. Don't worry. Here's the thing. I do have actually some good news for you for once. It appears as though the United States and Russia are actually on the same side. They're actually supporting the president. Yeah, for once, we're actually on the same side, and that's pretty incredible. Good. Thank God. The point here is that maybe the Central African Republic is going to establish meaningful relationships between the United States and Russia. That is why you should care about this if you're from America or from Russia or the Central African Republic. That is all I have for you. It's a good story at the end. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. If you're watching this on television, thank you very much. If you're on YouTube, please give it a like or subscribe or don't. And if you'd feel like reaching out to me on Twitter as well, at ZachMoss6 or my Instagram at ZachMoss06. Thank you very much. Peace out.